Hello and welcome to the 27th day of this live guitar challenge session that I'm doing here. I'm just practicing for 100 days straight. I'm just trying to see how comfortable I can get, and just holding myself accountable. So I thought I should make YouTube videos rather than just saying that I'm going to practice for an hour a day. Why not make a video? And then once I've started the ball rolling, it's kind of hard to stop, right? So just a cool little creative way to hold myself accountable. Today I'm going to go ahead and get into some power chords. So basically we've got our index finger and our ring finger. And basically just on a different string. If one's on the 6th string, then the other one's on the 5th string, a whole step apart. If the index finger is on the 5th string, then the ring finger would be on the 4th string, a whole step apart, right? So skipping a fret, the middle finger doesn't really do anything. So these are like the main power chords. So you got F5, G5, A5, B5, C5, D5 again, or you could bring it back up here and you would have your B5, C5, D5, E5, F5. You can also have an E5 here. And an A5 here. Another D5. See how it sounds very similar? So basically just finding the same notes. This one's B and A. I'm not sure about that one. I don't think that's really anything. E and B. So those are the main power chords. It's I did figure it out. They're all A5, B5, C5, D5. It's always a letter and a 5. Well, I didn't understand the naming convention on that. Had to get educated, and I figured it out. So it is basically the first letter, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, is the first note, right? So whatever your index finger touches, that's what it's going to be. A5, G5, B5, C5, F5. And then the reason it's a fifth is the ring finger finds and touches the note that is 5 notes away from where you started. So if you go F, G, A, B, C, and there you go, your fifth note. Instead of calling it like a, I don't know, FC or whatever, yeah, just F5, G5. Start with G, and then you go, 4 more. A, B, C, D. Okay, so you have G and D. Boom and boom. So now it's A, B, C, D, E. All right, so that's the naming convention. Figured it out. See, so it's not just about being able to play the tunes, but it's also about, getting educated and understanding, not just being able to physically do the movements, but understanding why. So I always think that's important. So oftentimes, putting an hour in here, right? But then there's also another, 30 minutes of taking pictures and creating a thumbnail and doing editing. And then there's, another hour or so watching videos online, trying to be educated enough so that way I can come on here and make a video that isn't 100% exactly the same all 100 days, because that'd be extremely, extremely boring, even for myself, right? So I got to go learn something so that way I can practice that new thing that I've learned or talk about that new thing that I've learned in a video. And I'm just doing some open major chords. Or just practicing. All right, let's get back into the power chords. But really quickly, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. So that way you can continue watching my journey as I try to figure out this instrument and learn how to play beautiful tunes. That way, if you're subscribed, it's easier to find my videos and things like that. If they're not automatically just kind of popping up for you, you can easily find me and come back and, kind of check out on my journey and see how I've been doing and stuff like that. So also comment below. I'll be sure to respond. So that way we have a community that's kind of talking and helping each other grow and educating each other. I think that would be really cool as well. So that's a really cool thing about YouTube as well, right? You educate each other and you kind of build a community of people of like minds. So anyways, it's hard to talk and play at the same time. So let's get back into practicing and just drilling over some fundamental power chords. Again, a lot of this 100 days is fundamental practice techniques and things like that. Not so much the song playing. Play some songs here and there, of course, little snippets of songs and things that I know. But it's been really hard to like piece everything together and play a song from start to finish, like 100%, like the actual artist intends it to be played. So I've dialed it back. Let's try to figure out how to crawl right before I get into running and sprinting. Is how I like to metaphorically say that. trying to get out there and play songs, even if it's, a simple song, a Wonderwall or a one note, Smoke on the Water. It's like, heck with that. Let me just get comfortable with this thing. It's like dribbling a basketball or something like that. Just run out there and just start playing. If you've never ever even touched a basketball before, probably dribble it, shoot by yourself for a while. So anyways, let's get into some power chords. I'm listening, trying to be mindful of, when it doesn't ring out properly, and what kind of a little adjustment can I make to, make it ring out a little better. Maybe my finger isn't, as close to the fret as it could be, maybe sliding just a little bit closer. Shake it out. Shake it out. Rise that up. Tilt that down. Maybe you can see the bottom of the guitar just a little bit better. All right. Sticking with the power chords, just practicing the fundamentals, right? Just drilling it over and over, trying to get more comfortable with it. Trying to get stronger with it, the way you don't get wore out and get tired, 3 laps through, 28 seconds into the song, you're already tired. So just building up those things, trying to get calibrated, getting synced up. Building muscle memory. threes. Whoo-wee. Gets a little tiring. Just shake it out. Maybe play a couple regular chords for just a second, and then we'll get right back into it. Not going away from it, but don't just want to sit here for, 30, 45 seconds doing absolutely nothing. So shake it out. Play a couple little other things. And we'll get back to it. Okay. Let's go back to the power chords. I'm going to drill that in a little bit more. It also helps practicing those slides, right? So you're learning a lot, you're doing a lot, all simultaneously. So because when you first try to slide, I'm still working on it myself. I'm not very good at it yet either. I practice these other slide techniques where you kind of put one finger down and slide one direction on each string. Then maybe go with either the same finger back up or maybe a different finger back up, but practicing those slide exercises, techniques, whatever you want to call it there. I've been incorporating that just a little bit as well, but not right now. Just wanted to give a little snippet at another thing that I like to practice there. But right now we're on the power chords, but the power chords do slide. So practicing different slide drills and things like that can kind of help you get more comfortable with doing it and being able to, just slide, 1 fret, or maybe you need to slide 3 frets, or maybe you need to slide 5 frets. You know what I'm saying? So it just helps you get comfortable with knowing, how far to go and when to stop and be accurate with it. So, which is obviously the key in everything with a guitar, being accurate. If you're not accurate, you're gonna muffle something and it's just not gonna sound right. So. Sounds different. Not different, obviously different, but it sounds like it's not ringing out properly. It sounds odd. I know my guitar is in tune. Well, I tuned it using this electronic tuner here before we got started, so I didn't have to interrupt the actual live performance here. But this one sounds fun. That was good. I've got a stupid question here for anyone that stumbles across this video. I was just playing around with the guitar the other day, and I noticed even way down here, makes sound. So I was curious, has an artist ever utilized that section? I'm sure someone's had to have, right? But I know they'd be doing crazy techniques with tapping and just in different positions where they're like upside down or behind their head and things like that. But I was just messing around with the guitar the other day, just, looking at it, toying with it, messing with my knobs and stuff. And I got to thinking, I know people do the tapping and they even take their pick and will slide it. I don't know how to do that very good yet, or at all. So I know there's all these cool techniques and abstract things that artists will do, and I got to plucking down here, and I was like, "Oh, that rings out," and I just got to thinking, does anyone ever actually utilize that as sound? And again, I'm sure someone does, but you just don't ever see it, I guess, in all the live performances and concerts I've been to. I've never seen anyone just kind of you know what I'm saying? Jamming out. And they should, because that's pretty unique little sounds down there. So anyways, back to my intended power chord practice session right now. And I'm not doing any, obviously, specific strumming pattern. So that's not my intent right now. It's not so much this arm. It's getting the slides down and getting accurate and building the technique with this arm. This arm, I don't play a lot, right, of songs and things like that. So I don't have any strumming patterns built up in my head or muscle memory, things like that. So I'm just kind of strumming whatever. So yeah, feel free to switch up your strumming pattern. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing because There's nothing uniform or specific about what I'm doing. I'm just making sure this hand is doing the proper, fives. Power chords. Fifths. Terrible. Sounds terrible. Slow down. No need to rush. All right. Still just practicing power chords. Stretch it out. All that pressing in the back of the neck, it does a number on your wrist and like this little padded area in the hand. Whew. All right. So now what we'll do is slightly transition into, we'll come back to the power chords just when we get tired, we want to switch something up. But right now I'm going to try to get into minor chords and practice the minor chords. The major chords always seem, so natural because that was the first things I learned. And then, but I don't rep out the minor chords enough. So let's go ahead and rep out some of those. So we got a B. B minor. All right. A minor. Any strumming pattern, really, just transitioning right now. Just getting warmed up with the minors. I'll go in a specific order maybe later. Stick with the minors. C minor. G minor. F minor. And the reason the minor chords are so important to practice is because it's a lot of bars. A lot of them are bars. The majority of them are. So, you got your A minor here. It's not a bar. But then you move to your B minor. It's a bar. C minor is a bar. D minor is not a bar. But it can be a bar once you get down here. It becomes a bar. So you might as well learn it as a bar as well. And then if you got E minor here, not a bar, but you play it, somewhere else, you're going to need the bar. And then you got your F minor, it's a bar. And your G minor, it's a bar. Already, even in its very, lowest positions here. So, but definitely as you move up here, using the cage system, everything becomes barred. You want to play a B, C, D, E, F, G chord up here somewhere, it's probably going to have to be barred. So still learning all of that though, not like, super sharp with it yet, but so yeah, that's the reason, your minor chords are very important to practice also, because it helps you practice your bars when you're sliding. It's helping you practice your slides. And then also they say that minor chords are for more like sad songs. So if you want to play a more mellow tone or a sad tone, you got some sad lyrics that you want to get out there. You might want to pair it with some sad chords. Well, the minor chords are, I guess, more sad, and the major chords are more happy, they say. So got to get those minor chords in. Practice your bars in your sad songs. Because who are the majority of people that you will find at bars? Sad people. See here, A minor. It's major, minor. So you just repeat those same shapes really anywhere. These bar chords, just like the power chords, at least for me, maybe I got a poor technique. If you got any ideas or any critiques, any advice at all, for real, I'm like a sponge, so I appreciate it. If anyone notices anything, has any advice, please comment below, and I'll be sure to read those. And yeah, maybe I'm doing something improper here, but it seems like or maybe I'm not. Maybe everything's A1, and I just don't have enough time yet to build up the strength. But if anyone sees anything improper in my technique, please let me know. I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, when I'm practicing these power chords and these bar chords, I gotta just shake it out every now and then. There you go. A lot of pressure here in the back of the neck, so that way I can, push my fingers down into the strings hard enough. I don't know any other way to do that than putting, my thumb here, putting a lot of pressure. So that's how I do it anyways. It's nice to pluck each string individually, just to make sure that everything's, sounding good. Sometimes when you play it real fast, you don't know if it's crisp. So oftentimes you just keep playing, especially as a beginner, you're going to mess up a lot anyways. So stumble through those, just keep on playing. But at times you do want to stop and take a walk, see if they're all sounding clear. Let's see. Check it out. It's tough. Let's go into some power chords just to give it a different type of pressure, maybe, and kind of give whatever is achy over here a second of a break. All right. Enough of the power chords. Back to the minor chords. That's what we're focused on the second half of the video. But if you gotta, transition just to switch something up real quick because something's getting a little achy, and that's understandable and fine. But right now, we are actually focused on the minor chords, practicing transitioning between them. Sometimes it's a good practice to do the chord, then take your hand off, slap your thigh or whatever, and then try to put it back. That'll really help that muscle memory instead of just kind of staying right there with it. And when you really have to open up your hand, slap your thigh, and then re-put the hand back to where it needs to be, that actually quickly trains it to do the right thing. So that's something I've been doing more so when I sit down. Right now I'm kind of standing up for the video, but yeah, taking your hand completely off sometimes is another good practice. But obviously sometimes you want to slide. Remember, another little practice you can sometimes do if you don't want to do it completely random, you could do spell little words. I know you only have 6 letters to work with, A, B, C, D, E, F, G in the musical alphabet, right? But there's a couple words that you can spell there. You got face, F-A-C-E. You have ace, A-C-E. You've got bead, B-E-A-D. You've got dead, D-E-A-D. Deed, D-E-E-D. Just be creative. You could probably come up with quite a few. But just doing that as, major shapes or minor shapes or blend them. All kinds of different exercises, right? Just to get comfortable, right? Not playing songs, but just to get comfortable. Okay. Spell face. So we got F. So you notice I play my E minor chord like this with the free index. The reason I do that is because I know spelling face, F-A-C-E, after A comes C, so I want to have this free index finger to be ready for the bar. You don't have to, obviously. You could play it, your A minor like this with the free pinky, and then transition everything instead of sliding it. But if you want that slide sound, that sound or whatever, I'm not very good at sound impressions or mimicking things like that. But you know what I'm saying. If you want that slide effect, then you would have to learn to play your A minor chord with this free index, so that way you can get the so just multiple ways to play everything, right? So we got B, E, A, D, B, E, A, D. All minors. Just spelling words, right? Bead, B-E-A-D. See, the time is not quite there, right? So that's why we got to practice this stuff. Rep it over and over again, so that way I get more fluid. Get a little more synced up. Things aren't so hard and so slow. My muscle memory is there, and my finger dexterity understands what's coming and what to do next, right? Sometimes it takes hundreds of reps. Shake it out, shake it out. Started to cramp up right in the wrist. Sometimes it comes on quick. It's like, man, came out of nowhere and it came on sharp. But I'll get stronger. I'll get better. All right. Shake it out a little. Maybe play a couple little power chords. Switch it up from the bar chords and the minor chords just real quick, just to kind of practice something a little different. So the pains and the pressures are, in slightly different spots. It's like working out, right? You try to do, 15 regular push-ups and, get maybe tiring at 15. Well, if you actually go wide or staggered or narrow or something like that, you could probably rep out another 10 or 15 or, whatever it is. So sometimes just making slight adjustments, doesn't mean that you're done and that you have to put the guitar down or, stop your practice or whatever. Just switch up your practice technique for just a little bit and then come back to it, right? So that's all we're doing here. Going back to what we practiced at the beginning of the video, which was the power chords. So let the part of the hand rest. I was getting tired from the bar chords. Okay. Here we go. That's fun. I can already kind of sense that my power chords are getting cleaner just in, an hour's worth of practice. And that's what's so beautiful sometimes, right? You got to take those little wins and just, kind of feel proud inside that, hey, you're being consistent. Hey, making little steps, little improvements, because every little improvement is an improvement in the proper direction, right? So when you're standing still, not doing anything, that's when you start, going the opposite direction, obviously. So even those little small wins, right? Yeah, sure, you're not shredding a Metallica power chord song yet. But, hey, just doing these little slides here, going a whole step. Oh, switching strings. Okay, oh. Getting a little more comfortable. You got to feel proud about those little wins. All right, back to the minor chord practice to finish out the day. Little minor chord practice. So we basically got like, 30 minutes of power chord practice, 30 minutes of minor chord practice today. And just kind of switching back and forth when we need a little break for our muscles. Can't leave out the D minor. It's not a bar chord, but can't leave it out. That's a major though. Here we go. Minor. We want sad stuff. Stay with the minors. Sounded terrible there at the end. And that's because, again, my hand pressure, I don't know, maybe my technique's sloppy, or maybe I'm just not strong enough and don't have that endurance yet in my hand. But yeah, playing some power chords and really pressing on the back of that neck. Maybe I don't need to press that hard. I don't know. I'll have to be conscious enough and to start, thinking about that. When you have so many inputs and thinking about so much all at once, your ears, your eyes, your picking hand, your fretting hand, elbow in, elbow out. Do you look down? Do you try to look away and try to, feel it and be confident? It's a lot of inputs, a lot of stuff going on all at once. I'll have to focus in and think, why is my hand continuing to hurt? If, let's say, another couple weeks go by and it's still, still just as painful or not able to play as long. I'll have to start really consciously thinking about why is that. Maybe my pressure doesn't be as strong, or something with my technique is slightly off. I don't know. If any of you have any ideas, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts on technique and ideas. Appreciate all of the critiques and advice to get better, really. So thank you for that. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do. That'll make it easier to find me and see how my progression is doing with the guitar. And also, if you just look at my channel and look at my banner and stuff, you can kind of see some of the things that I'm into and what I'd like to eventually make some videos about. So stay tuned for those, with actual edits and graphics and transitions and things like that. Not this raw guitar practice here, just straight raw, no edits, no nothing. I like the slide sound. All right. Finished off with spelling face there a couple times. There you go. Extra little time for you. All right. That's it. We'll call that a wrap for the day. That's day 27 in the books now. Started off with some power chords, then went into some minor chords today. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It makes it easier to find my videos. If they're not already popping up, it's easier to find me. So go ahead and subscribe. Stay tuned for what's coming next. And if you haven't liked it, please go ahead and boop that like button as well. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for today. Until next time, I'm out. I love you guys. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Peace.